Hello and welcome back to the Lincoln Loco 3. Hope you're all doing well today and looking forward to today's episode as the European journey continues. Today, it's Zenit in both legs of the Europa League second knockout round. Wedged in between that is a game against Real Sporting Gijón in the league as well. As we chase down Champions League football this season, it's looking really promising still that we are still in a Champions League title race, still in a race to get a Champions League place. Not quite the title, we're a bit far off that unfortunately, but things are going well and hopefully they just keep going well. So first things first, we'll go through what's happened since you guys were last here for a rather bizarre episode where we lost heavily to, of course, Barcelona, and then we beat Barcelona by quite a bit, and then we lost quite heavily to Real Madrid. It was rather bizarre, but we had a weird episode. Since then, things have been terrible. We've not won a game since then, but luckily we've only played 3 games in between that. A 1-1 draw with Mallorca. Very, very, very lucky for Paulo Turn to score in the 94th minute in that game to rescue a point for us. So thank you, Paulo, for that one. We then ended up losing the second leg of the Spanish Cup semi-final. We did think we'd lose it anyway. We lost 4-1 in the first leg. It would have taken a miracle for us to actually come back and win that. I didn't think we would. I took a risk and didn't record it. And I guess the risk kind of paid off because if we'd won it 5-0, I'd be kicking myself. But we lost it 3-2 in the end, as you can see. Gisk and Sione on the score sheet. And then last time out, we thought we'd just about done enough to beat Celta Vigo. We were 2-1 up at half-time. But of course, Celta Vigo came back in the second half. And we were very lucky in the end to only draw the game 2-2. Celta Vigo should have beaten us and we should have lost it really. So another draw there for us. What that means for the league table is that we luckily stay 4th in the table. Valencia and Huesca behind us, also not having the best of times, as you can see. A win for Huesca actually, but a draw and a loss for Valencia and things like that. So we're lucky to stay in 4th place. There's obviously 10 games to go this season now, so you know, we're still in 4th place. A lot can still change, and as you can see, if this Valencia thing wants to go away, even teams as far down as Espanyol, for example, they're 11 points behind us right now, but that's not unassailable, right? They could turn that around if they wanted to, and we weren't particularly good. So there's a big chance we could drop outside of European places, but I'd like to think we can keep hold of it, keep ourselves in there, and push forward into next season. Obviously, Sione is helping us out massively. He's currently got 23 goals to his name so far this season, to the point where I think we might need to offer him a new contract. He's valued at £32 million. His release fee clause is £52 million. I thought it was 20. Obviously, it's not. So £52 million. Maybe we don't need to give him a new contract. But obviously, I feel like if you're a top scorer in La Liga, clubs will come sniffing. And £52 million, to be fair, I might take it, actually. I might take it. This season overall, though, Sione's been incredible. 40 goals in 39 appearances, you can see here next to my arm. He's been phenomenal. He's also not just a top scorer, obviously, in the league. He's also a top scorer in the Europa League with 10 goals to his name, which is fantastic. And although we got knocked out of the Spanish Cup, he's also top scorer in the Spanish Cup as well. So hopefully, Ungar and other players don't overtake him in the final. Unfortunately, though, some rather sad news. The takeover has not happened. Yesterday we saw that there was a takeover going on and we were put into a transfer embargo. Well, unfortunately, it's been pulled. The plug has been pulled on the consortium. Apparently they've got no funds. So, I mean, probably a good idea that they haven't taken over the club if they can't have the money to buy the club in the first place. That would mean no money for me as the manager to spend on players. So that's probably a good idea, but obviously, you know, you want a takeover because usually it means loads of money coming into the club. So obviously no takeover for us, no big money coming from that. So we've got to try and get ourselves into a top 4 position or try and do really well in the Europa League to secure some big money for next season. We've got £36 million in the bank right now, but apparently we've actually made a loss of £1 million so far this season, which isn't actually too bad, but we made £15 million last season. I presume at some point we'll get a big lump sum for some sort of TV money, so I expect that to go up at some point. Projection-wise says only 38 million by the end of the season, so maybe not that much of a jump, but if we do well in Europe and maybe qualify for the Champions League, that is huge money for us as a club. But I'm in a bit of a dilemma, right? I'm in a bit of a dilemma as we head into this game against Zenit St Petersburg. There are the other fixtures for you. I don't know if we go defensive or we go with our usual 4 at the back system. I feel like away from home, particularly in a situation like this, we maybe go for that 5 at the back system, right? But that did not work particularly well away from home against teams like Barcelona and Real Madrid. It worked at home, obviously, against Barcelona because we beat them, but it didn't work well away from home. So I do think maybe the 4 at the back system is better. But if we go back to looking at the tactics and the recent fixture and formations, last 2 times we've played a 4-2-3-1, we've been very lucky to get a draw. So maybe 5 at the back is the way to go. Annoyingly, this isn't a live stream, so you guys can't make the decision for me. I've got to make the decision right now. And my decision is 5 at the back. So this is the team heading into the game. We've got Krenta at the back with that backline of Lukau, Araya and on loan Eriksson from Juventus that we brought in over January. Stransky and Terziev start at the wing-back positions with Murphy and Catania through the middle. Ferdinand, who's not had the best last 5 games, is starting as the advanced playmaker. But just in front of him with 40 goals to his name is Sione and 10 goals to his name Gisk. Between them they have 50 goals this season, which is mental. I reckon they could get to a combined total of 70 by the end of the season. Either way, kickoff is upon us here today in the cold St Petersburg. It's currently 7 degrees and it's raining, which is horrible conditions to play in. But fingers crossed we get the better of Zenit today. On a positive note, actually thinking about it, in the group stages we beat Arsenal 3-0 away from home using this formation. And right now we've gone 1-0 up against Zenit St Petersburg. The Terziev's cross, into Gisk. Gisk puts it in the back of the net. You love to see it. Fantastic work there from the boys. Good combination. Great cross from Terziev into a perfect position for Gisk to tap it in, tap it in at the near post. Already getting several words wrong in today's episode. I've lost all ability to talk. Like, you'd think when I'm talking every single day when I'm streaming or making videos, I'd just get better and better at talking. I think I've genuinely regressed in like I think I've genuinely regressed in my ability to speak in the past year, and it's slightly concerning as Zenit, also slightly concerningly, nearly score a goal. In the meantime, Sione is on a run forward. He gets the ball into Kenneth Gisk, who scores another one. You love to see it. Fantastic. 2-0 up against Zenit, away from home. 2 very important away goals. Of course, away goals do count in this competition, so obviously the bigger that we win away from home, the more chance we have of winning the tie overall. We might stick with this formation at home as well, you know. It does seem to work quite well against teams in Europe, as Sione makes it 3-0. Fantastic. Now, I don't want to speak too soon, right, because we've got the rest of this game to go and a whole second leg to go as well, but quite frankly, get me to the quarterfinals. You may as well put us in the quarterfinals right now. There's not a chance we are turning this around now, or Zenit are going to turn this around, particularly when we're about to go 4-0 up in this game. Oh, we actually did. 4-0 up. You love to see it. Gisk now with a hat-trick inside of 35 minutes. Kenneth Gisk is a cup man. He's a cup machine, isn't he? Or is he not? He scored a hat-trick last episode. That was against Barcelona. He loves big games. Kenneth Gisk is a big game player. Barcelona, hat-trick. Zenit St Petersburg, hat-trick. Okay, let's sit back, relax, and enjoy the second half. I cannot see a situation now where Zenit St Petersburg, over 2 legs, are scoring 5 goals past us. If they want to do that right, they've got to go so attacking to the point where they're going to leave themselves so exposed at the back that surely we'll just score more goals as a consequence as well. I'm so happy with this. So I think, because obviously there's only a few days left before the next game that we play against Sporting Gijón, I'm going to make a couple of changes to keep a few players rested. Ferdinand will be one. We'll bring David Perez on to get a bit of match sharpness into him. Catania will come off for Caramarco, and Terziev will come off for Hannesson. What I will concede, though, is that we've not seen anything from us in the second half. All the highlights thus far in the second half have been for Zenit St Petersburg. So clearly their manager said something to them at half-time and got them firing. Now, that one's offside, right? So that's not going to count. Is it not offside? Referee. 4-1, but we've still got 4 away goals to our name. They're not scoring 3 at our... Oh, they've got to score 4 at our place to win, haven't they? We've got 4 away goals to counter that. They've got to go and score 4 at our place to win 5-4. And that is not happening. That is certainly not happening at all. Although, saying that, here comes Zenit St Petersburg. If they get another one, it might be slightly easier for them at our place. But it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Perez gets the ball up to Gisk. Gisk on the attack, looking for his 4th of the game, unselfishly passes it to Sione, who gets his 2nd right. 4-goal lead restored. We're in the quarterfinals. Annoyingly, this formation is class. I love it. We're winning games, but we just can't get, obviously, Paulo Turner playing for us. And I want Paulo Turner playing because he's a wonder kid, probably the best talent we've got in the team. But obviously, he's only a winger, and this formation doesn't use wingers, which is why I quite like the 4 at the back winger formation. But I guess it's a small sacrifice that we can make. He's only, what, 18 years old, 19 years old. I guess we can make a sacrifice in situations for the rest of the season to win games if it means dropping him. I guess this is my issue, right? I get too attached to players, and I want my player individually to do well, maybe more than I want the team to do well. So this is my predicament right now. But obviously, I've got to think logically, and I've got to think that Gisk could have had his 4th goal of the game there. That rackets off the crossbar, rockets back. Again, my word choice, a little bit confusing there. Not entirely sure what my brain was thinking of when that came out my mouth, but we might have another chance though, as Hannesson can't get a crossing. Can Karamarko get a cross into the middle? Back to Hannesson. Cross in the middle. Gisk still can't get his 4th of the game. Come on, boys. The pressure is still there, and it's not going to go in the back of a net like that. Well, there we go. Zenit 1, Lincoln 5. 5 away goals there. That is magnificent. We are going to the quarterfinals, surely. Right, quickly, what we're going to do is rest all of these players to make sure they are fully fit for the Gijón game. I think just for continuity and seeing how well it does in the league, we'll stick with the 5 at the back formation against Gijón as well. Oh, the Europa League semi-final and quarter-final draws are right now, as opposed to after the game against Zenit St Petersburg after the second leg. We're going to do them right now, apparently. Here we go. The draw is here. Let's view the draw then. So, when we get past Zenit St Petersburg, we are going to play against... Oh, who's it going to be? Borussia Mönchengladbach or Anderlecht. Now, that could be a very interesting tie. I've not checked the scores, but I imagine Borussia Mönchengladbach are winning that one. Let's have a quick look at Gladbach's. They've just beaten Anderlecht 2-0, we can see down here. So they are in the ascendancy in that. So it's likely we play against Mönchengladbach. Should we get past Borussia Mönchengladbach, though, we would be coming up against Basel, Sevilla, Monaco or Lazio. And if I'm honest with you, that side of the draw is so much nicer than the draw that has Arsenal, Bayer Leverkusen, Napoli, Tottenham, Leicester, even Krasnodar, and Leipzig as well. This side of the draw, wow, so much kinder to us. So we've definitely been very lucky with all of this. I think we could have had a much more difficult quarter-final and semi-final potential draw. I'm happy. I'm pretty happy with that. There really is a route to the final. I mean, Borussia Mönchengladbach are going to be really difficult when we come up against them in the quarter-finals, providing we get there, but we will get there. But if we can get past Gladbach, I genuinely think the semi-final options are a little bit easier for us. So I back us to get to a final. We're going to stick with, I think, virtually, in fact, yes, the exact same lineup. How is Tyson Brown's injury? That's why he's not been playing. 2 to 6 days, that's okay. We'll leave him off the pitch for now. Same team again. Submit, let's go. So Gijón are down in 11th place in the table, so hopefully a routine victory. Should we beat them today, I would be very confident that we would be finishing above them in the table this season, even if things go horribly wrong for us in the final few games of the season. Real Madrid already 4-0 up against Celta Vigo. That's very impressive for them inside of 20 minutes, but we're not 4-0 up inside of 20 minutes. We need to be 4-0 up inside of 20 minutes, and hopefully we're going to get the first goal of the game right now. Although we have lost possession, and Gijón in a beautiful purple kit. I say this all the time. Purple kits in football are underrated. I'm a big fan of a purple... Not this purple kit, not this one, as Gijón go 1-0 up against us. It's been a bit like this all season, actually, I must say, in the league. We have huge wins in Europe as Gisk, come on, gets us back in the game with an equaliser straight away. But in the footage with no audio at the start of the season, when we battered, Austria Vienna 7-0, we then went and lost 2 league games, 4-1 in a row, which was terrible. We then went and battered Austria Vienna again, 10-0 in one game. Was it Austria Vienna or was it Ferrovar? We beat one of them 10-0, and then after that in the league, we didn't do particularly well. So European football is a breeze. We love that. Domestic football can be a little bit more challenging. Now, I do have a fair few leagues loaded up in this. Spain's in it, Portugal's in it. I think the big leagues like Italy, Germany and stuff like that are all loaded in there. So obviously, I guess Austria and Hungary aren't loaded in the game, so their teams will be a little bit weaker, but it still doesn't quite make all that much sense to me. Drawing right now with Gijón, though, does drop us down to 5th in the table, which is a little concerning, considering that we have been in the top 4 for quite a lot this season. I'd love for us to finish it off and finish in the top 4 this season and get a Champions League place. Sione heard me talking about it, and he's grabbed his 43rd goal of the season in all competitions. The man is a machine. Like, he is the best £5 million I think I've ever spent in Football Manager. What an absolute player he's turned out to be this season. And so just before half-time, we are leading this game once again, which is great. But Gijón looking to come forward. They lose possession. Murphy's ball forward to Sione is fantastic. And Sione, 3-1 up now. Beautiful. I tell you what, this episode is not lacking goals. There have been plenty of them so far today, and long may it continue. We don't appear to be running out of steam yet this season. I think in previous seasons, we kind of hit a wall at some late stage in the season and start losing games. Look back to the very end of last season, we were terrible for the final 5-10 games of the season or so. We're now entering the final 10 games of the season, the league season. We've got more league games, or more games I should say, in Europe as well, fingers crossed. But we're getting to that point of the season, and exhaustion hasn't seemed to set in yet. We still seem to be going full steam ahead and really taking it to some teams. I had a little wobble, obviously, in between episodes, not winning in 3 games, I should say. We lost one of them, but we didn't win in 3. But today's episode has given me confidence in the boys, and I'm starting to think we might just be able to do it and finish inside of the top 4. As the clock ticks down though, very happy with this result as well. Looks like another 3 points coming back home with us. One final highlight of the game, hopefully another goal for us to help us out with a bit of goal difference. That would be fantastic, as the ball forward to Gisk is good. Stransky just about collects the loose ball after a weird clearance from Gijón. Can we grab another goal? Idrissa Ferdinand's shot saved by the keeper on the line. Good save there. Luckily, it doesn't matter because we've already won the game 3-1. Brilliant. Another 3 points on the board. One more win in today's episode needed for it to be a full house and we qualify through to the quarterfinals of the Europa League. I think at the end of the season as well, I need to be asking for another stadium expansion. I think we are pretty much selling out every week again. 17,000 there, 17,000 there, 17,000 there, 17,000 there. Like literally, we are selling out our stadium every single week, which is fantastic. Can I make a board request? Stadium. It's build a new stadium. There's nothing saying expand it. Do I do it? Do I do it? Do I do it now, or do I wait? I think I'll wait to the end of the season, or maybe the start of next. Nah, do I do it now? I think if I do it now, I'd be able to ask again come the end of the season. Stadium. Build a new stadium. They'll get back to me shortly. Okay. Well, that shortly is not yet. The board, we believe our ambitions for the club can be achieved without needing to leave our current home. Unwilling to grant it. Can we discuss this with the board? Can we say, so we're no longer restricted by our current minimal expansion potential? And they say no. The fans are behind me. They still say no. Lack of ambition is very disappointing. They still say no. We're going to be left behind by our rivals. They still... I don't think there's much I can really say, unfortunately. No, we're not going to get it. I think at the end of the season, and we get some big money coming in, they might be a bit more receptive to that idea. But given that this one has been built in, the past couple of years, I can understand why they would be saying no. So let's keep an eye out on the Anderlecht Borussia Mönchengladbach score. It was the home leg for Borussia Mönchengladbach where they won 2-0, so maybe Anderlecht can turn it around. I'd like them to, because I think they're much easier to play against than Borussia Mönchengladbach. For the third time in a row though, no changes to the lineup because it's worked perfectly so far. Let's get this done. So hopefully this will just turn out to be routine, matter of fact, alright? You know, we're 5-1 up. Zenit need to score 5 goals in this game without reply to go through. And I cannot see them doing that, particularly when the first 20 minutes of the game has resulted in 5 shots for us and 0 shots for them. And if we can score a goal right now, it will put everything beyond doubt, I am sure, as Terziev in the area to Murphy, 1-0. Brilliant start. First chance of the game for Zenit though. If they score a goal, I don't even care. Score 2 or 3. Score 2 or 3 for all I care, because you're not going to beat us. I mean, you might beat us on the night if you score 2 or 3, but overall, you are not going to beat us at all. As Terziev into the goal scorer Murphy, forward nicely as Catania finds Gisk. Gisk loses possession really weirdly there. I think he lost the ball underneath his feet, but Krenter collects it at the back quite nicely, playing as a sweeper keeper. Stransky forward to Gisk once again. This time he controls it nicely. His shot is saved, but I'll be honest, I don't care. Let's keep tabs though. Anderlecht have just gone 1-0 down to Borussia Mönchengladbach, so it does look very likely we will be playing the German side in the quarter-finals. I can't remember who we'd be playing against in the semis now that I think about it. I can't remember now, honestly. It doesn't matter too much though, because of course we have to think about Mönchengladbach before we think about, of course, Gisk hits the post, before we think about anyone else in the semi-finals. It was either Sevilla or Basel, wasn't it? And what was it, Lazio Monaco? I can't remember now. At the end of the day though, Zenit and the Russian oligarch money doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how much money they have. We have barely anything compared to Zenit. They're one of the richest clubs in the world. And what they have to show for it, they're being beaten by a little club from Gibraltar. Weirdly, our performance at home has been terrible compared to the away performance, but do we care? Not a chance. We do not care at all. We've beaten Zenit on the night 1-0, 6-1 on aggregate. Into the quarterfinals we go. So £1 million for that, that's fantastic. And confirmation of us playing Borussia Mönchengladbach in the next episode. The home leg is first by looks of things, so that'll be interesting. And it's coming up very, very quickly. 2 games to play in between episodes, and I'll be back tomorrow for Borussia Mönchengladbach, Valladolid, and Borussia Mönchengladbach. So thank you so much for watching today's episode. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. And of course, if you have done, make sure you do drop a like on the video for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And I will see you next time. Have a good one. Goodbye.